In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about how I stay healthy while working for USPS. Let's get right into it. So first off, if you work a physically demanding job, you know how it is trying to stay healthy. Sometimes you're going to feel exhausted. You just don't want to work out, especially after a long day. You're a parent, you don't really want to go to the gym. I know how it is. I've been there. I've had a lot of trial and error over the years. I'm 28. I feel like I've learned a decent amount just when it comes to really doing the things you want to do. And I know how it is when you're tired, you're exhausted. Sometimes you just don't want to do it. And, sometimes you just might be busy, with other things. I mean, being a parent myself, I know how it is. But there's a few points I wanted to make across in this video, a few things I've learned that have helped me stay healthy while working for USPS. I've worked for USPS since 2023. It's probably been the best job I've ever had, but at times, you're exhausted. I mean, it's a job where you're constantly lifting, you're constantly turning. I drive, I'm a rural carrier, I'm a rural mail carrier, and I drive a 75-mile, over 400 mailbox route, and it's really about 4.5 hours on route, and it can be a lot, especially the weather being another factor. And you got to be healthy, you got to be in your right mind, you got to be physically ready, and it's a lot. For me, the one point I want to make across is nutrition. You really got to dial down your nutrition. For me, at times, I always felt like, if I was exhausted and tired and hungry and I didn't have food ready at home, healthy food, whatever, if I had more junk in my house, then I was more liable to just want to eat junk. I got to a point where I stopped buying, stuff I don't need. I really got sick of eating fast food. It was around the time when I was married. I wasn't living where I am now. I was living, an hour away from where I currently live. And I remember it was easier for me to just, oh, I'll just get fast food. I'll just get something quick. I'll just order DoorDash. But when you really think about, you want to be a healthy person, you want to be fit, you want to be as fit as possible for your kids or just yourself in general, you start to think about nutrition a lot more and eating the right things, putting the right things in your body, because you are what you eat. And there was times in my life where I ate out too much. I got too much fast food. I've never been like super fat. I've never really been fat or nothing like that. But there's been times where I felt out of shape and I felt like I got to stop eating this stuff. And so for me, it's important to have healthy, high protein foods easily accessible in your house. I make a lot of yogurt bowls. I make a lot of tuna bowls. Tuna is fast, easy protein smoothies, with protein. I'll keep a lot of high protein things available for me, peanuts, cashews, almonds. Um, I'll put like chopped walnuts in my yogurt bowls. I have fruits. I mean, fruit is it's good and it's so easy. Like with my yogurt bowls, it's easy to have yogurt, peanut butter, protein, whatever it is, and then you put some fruit on it, put some cinnamon, some honey. It's good and it saves you from wanting to go eat ice cream or just eat something that you really don't need. And so for me, I think nutrition is definitely one of the most important things you need to dial down. Help me in so many ways, just keeping more healthy snacks around, string cheese, having a bunch of fruit, bunch of frozen fruit. It's easier to have frozen fruit as it lasts longer. Bananas, peanut butter, even protein bars. I try not to eat so many protein bars and stuff like that in wrappers, but it's easy protein, and it's usually, if you get the right brands, it's usually healthier than like 99% of everything else, besides natural foods, which I try to get a lot of natural foods. Whole ingredient foods, that's what's most important. All right, let's get into point number two, which is your workouts don't need to be perfect. I used to struggle with that for a long time, and that's what kind of hurt me. It helped me stay consistent because I would try to get the perfect workout. I would feel like if I'm tired, if I'm sore, I probably shouldn't work out. And for the longest time, I was always my workout schedule was always weird. I stick to a lot of full body workouts throughout certain weeks. I'll have mostly full body workouts. It just depends with my USPS schedule and my son, kind of just how your body is feeling. Like I listen to my body, and that's the most important thing. You got to listen to yourself, especially when you're working a physically demanding job. And if you're a parent as well, that's a whole other factor. But I'll do workout splits to where it's upper lower, and then I'll also do full body workouts. And the thing I always think about, don't need to worry about getting an hour, gym sessions, going to the gym. I kind of just stopped giving excuses. You don't have to work out at a gym. You don't have to have an hour long session. I can get by working out at home for 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I can work out at the gym for an hour. It really don't matter. I just think it's important to just do the workout. It don't have to be perfect. It can simply just be a workout at home. If you're doing a 20 to 30-minute workout at home 3 to 4 times a week, that is amazing. If you're working out at the gym 3 times a week, that's amazing. If you're doing it, that's all that matters. And I think it's really important to just do it. Write down your schedule, look at it, I have sticky notes. I like to put sticky notes up. When you get to the point where you just do it, you don't really need to. You always just kind of think about it. You're like, okay, I want to work out today. This is usually my day. I do upper body. This is usually my day. I do core. You kind of know like how you're going to set up your workout, your work. You kind of know how you're going to set up your workouts through the week. It's just about doing them. And so my thing is, if you're working out 3 times a week, you're hitting every body part. That's great. The most important thing is doing it. There's been so many times I've worked out tired, after a long day of work. I kind of come home, I'll eat something, I'll chill for a little bit, maybe an hour or two, and then I'll work out. And even if it's 30 minutes at home, that's better than nothing. And so I think the most important thing to think about is your workouts don't have to be perfect. Just do them, and you're going to feel happy you did them. Okay, so another point is sleep and recovery. USPS, it beats up my body. It's a physically demanding job. It's mentally and physically, you're kind of drained. You can get really exhausted because of just all the mail, all the packages, all the driving. It's just a lot on your body. And so, the most important thing I learned and really started to think about a lot was sleep and recovery. You got to sleep a decent amount, you got to stretch. I pretty much stretch every day, sometimes multiple times a day. I think it's important to listen to your body. And if you're tired, you need some sleep. It is super important and super beneficial to get to sleep at a good time and stick with that time consistently. If it's like a 30 minutes difference, every so often, then that's okay. But if you're sticking around the same time day in and day out and not like going from going to bed at 9 to going to bed at like 1 in the morning, then you're good. But being super inconsistent with your sleeping patterns, it's just not healthy for your circadian rhythm, and you're going to feel more drained. And that's kind of why we feel jet lagged a lot. A lot of us, I've been there where you'll go back to work on Monday, whatever, and you feel super tired, super out of it. And so I think it's super important to really start listening to your body more, sleeping better. And then another one with that falls into sleep and recovery is walking, because walking is active recovery. It's good to just move your body and walk. Even if you're not working out on a certain day, maybe it's an off day where you're not working out, it's still good to move. I try to do 2 to 3, like 30 to 45-minute walks, just walking around my neighborhood, getting outside, getting some sun in your eyes, and just not really thinking about so much. I mean, you can listen to music, podcasts, whatever it is, but just get out and move. It's good for our bodies are meant to move. An important, valuable lesson I've learned over the years is it's much better to move rather than just lay around all day, because that's not going to do you any good, especially when you're trying to stay healthy while working a physically demanding job. This is the last point I want to make. That's mindset, because for me, the mind is very important. I'm doing this with the hope of eventually leaving USPS so I can have more energy, spend more time with my son, and do more things that I want to do more giving back, helping people, and doing things that I'm passionate about, which is talking about health and fitness, training people, and helping people just be the best version of themselves to where they're happy. They can spend more time with their family, they can spend more time with their kids and have more energy doing it. And that's the main thing that I'm about, is just being healthy, being fit, feeling good, and enjoying the time you have with the people you love. And so for me, I just think it's super important to nail down your mindset, nail down your why. And it's okay if you're not perfect. It's okay if it's messy at first. There's been so many times I've felt like just in a weird place, and I'm not perfect. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to just start. You don't need my permission, but just start. Just go for it. And just try to nail down a little habit here and there. And so just from my perspective, I'm not where I want to be yet, but that's why I created this channel, and that's why I'm documenting my journey and all the things I've went through and I'm still going through, because I feel like I've learned a lot and I'm still learning. And I think that's the cool thing about life, and just, getting older, but you're still learning. And I feel like if you're not learning, then you're just dead. This video I really wanted to make about how to stay healthy while working for USPS. I'm going to be posting videos like this every week, trying my best to help people with the things I've learned while working with USPS, being a dad and going through my own fitness journey, all the things I do with health and fitness and nutrition. So yeah, I really hope you like this video. I hope this video helped you out in some way. And if you have not subscribed to this channel yet, please subscribe, as I'm going to be dropping more weekly videos like this, trying my best to help people. Remember, you don't need a perfect plan. You just need to keep showing up. Keep getting 1% better every day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.